Interest interview. Al Jazeera host versus Yaakov Amidror, former national security advisor to PM Benjamin Netanyahu.
Israel controls what goes into Gaza and what comes out of Gaza. Israel controls the population registry. Israel controls the flow of people and the flow of money. Israel controls Gaza by land, air, and sea. Is anything that I just said untrue?
Yes.
Which part?
Everything that you said is not true.
Israel does not control the population registry of Gaza?
No.
Israel doesn't control the flow of goods in and out of Gaza?
No.
Israel does not have any military presence on the border of Gaza?
Between Israel and Gaza, but not between Gaza and Egypt. They can move through Egypt whenever they want. Whatever they want, they can bring.
Okay, you
can go. It's very easy. You take a car, you go through Rafah, you go to Cairo, and you take a plane and you go to Europe. We don't stop them.
Okay, sir, I think the international community will be surprised when they hear your words saying that Israel does not control, again, the borders, the population registry, the electromagnetic sphere, every part of Gaza. But that's up for the international community to decide when they watch this interview. Let me take you.
It's a fact on the ground. If someone from Gaza wants to go out, they can go to Rafah if the Egyptians will let him. I don't know if the Egyptians will let him, but it's not in Israel. It's not in Israel.
Respectfully, sir, that's a straw man. No one is disputing that Egypt has control over the Rafah border. What was at issue here was whether or not in 2006 Israel left Gaza or whether they simply redeployed their troops in such a way that they still control, again, the flow of goods, the flow of people, the electromagnetic sphere, the population registry. Every part of Gazan life is still functionally controlled and occupied by Israel, which is why the international community and international law suggests that Israel still maintains effective control over Gaza. But we can agree to disagree. I want to move on to another question here. If Israel does succeed in its aim of dismantling, or as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, eliminating Hamas, what will happen next in Gaza?
First of all, I think that you don't give your audience the real situation on the ground. The real situation on the ground that Israel does not control what's coming in and out from Egypt into the Gaza Strip. The border between Gaza and Egypt is controlled by Egypt, not by Israel. With all due respect,
but Egypt doesn't occupy Gaza. Egypt hasn't had control of Gaza in 5 decades.
We don't occupy Gaza as well. We don't control anything inside Gaza. We are not in Gaza. If you see a situation of 500 kilometers of tunnels under Gaza, if we were in, ridiculous story you tell here. You believe that we would have allowed Hamas to build its military capability if we were in Gaza? It's nonsense, with all due respect.
Again, I'm not disputing that you're in Gaza. I'm asserting that you redeployed troops from in Gaza in 2005 at the end of the year to the border. And you control it effectively by controlling what goes in and out. So I agree with you that you're not in Gaza. The point is, it's an effective control by how you manage the perimeter. But again, we can agree to disagree on that. The world can make its own determination. This is an empirical matter.
No, we are not controlling the perimeter of Gaza when it is coming to the border between Gaza and Egypt. We are controlling the border between Israel and Gaza, but not between Gaza and Egypt.
Sir, if we were to pull out a map, you will understand that the majority of you will understand that the bulk of the border is not with Rafah, is not with Egypt. The bulk of the border that Gazans engage is where? With Israel. That's number one. And number two, Egypt does not assert military and governmental control over Gaza. Not in 5 decades. So again, to pretend that somehow you're not responsible for what happens to Gaza when you continue to maintain effective control as per every human rights organization, as per international law. We see that this is an obvious fact and you seem to be denying it, but we don't have to agree on this fact. I'd like to move on so that I can get an answer to my question, which was...
No, I don't want to move on. No, I'm not going to move on.
Well, sir, I can't, sir.
Because you are lying. No, you are lying. You know
that is fine, sir. Sir, let's move on to another question.
No, I don't move to another question.
Fine. You don't have, sir, I respect that. Sir.
admit that border between Israel and Gaza is not controlled by Egypt and Gaza?
I understand you've made your point, sir. Sir, you made your point. Sir, you've made your point. If you're saying that you're not willing to move on unless I agree with you that Israel doesn't control Gaza, then we can't continue because that's not a fact, and I won't. And I refuse to acknowledge something that's not
Israel
true.
is not control Gaza. Israel is not.
You've made your point. Are you willing to move to another question, or do you want to? Are you willing to move to another question?
Yes.
Okay.
You just admit that Israel is not control Gaza, then you can go on.
Okay. Well, I'm not. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir.
Egypt.
Understood. So, sir, I'm not going to admit that Israel doesn't control Gaza. So, I'm going to thank you for your time, and I appreciate you joining us up front. Have a good day.